What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going over the sensitivity that I used last season and my settings and all that. Also go over warm-up and kind of show my basic warm-up, I guess. I've had a lot of questions on it. I mean, I'm definitely not the greatest player. Last season was just kind of like a grind fest. I just played a lot. Starting with my stats. My stats last season are nothing crazy. I mean, my KD is very average. I mean, there's tons and tons of people with way more kills. Obviously, I didn't go for wins. I'll be going over my strategy in each game. It was more based off of, like, I barely stayed in some games, some days. It would just be very dependent, but I just figured over my stats. The 44 kill game was obviously 3 strikes. My highest, I believe, in pubs was 25. And I actually did post that on YouTube, which, if not, I'll include that video somewhere within this series. This is part 1. Part 2, will probably be about how I went about my games. But anyway, to start off with sensitivity, I'm going to get range, and then I will pull that right up. Alright, so to start with my sensitivity, I don't really know what people want to see exactly in the gameplay, but I'll just scroll through this real quick in case anyone's curious. And then within controller, I use 4-3 linear small dead zone just because I have really bad stick drift. And last season I used no per optics. Currently at the moment, I do. I currently use these per optics, but like I said, last season I did not use anything. And to be honest, I really don't use anything past a 2x. I might use a 2 to 4, but I don't hardly ever zoom in, unless it's Vantage Sniper, of course. Oh shit, I actually gotta turn this off. And then other than that, I do play, oh, my button layout. My button layout is something I get asked about a lot. So my jump is L1, which I also have a paddle for. I use a DualSense Edge, just has a little bumper paddles on the back, but I don't really, like, I have it set up the same way as I had my other controller without paddles, just in case this broke. And then my crouch is X, but that's really R3. My R3 and X are swapped within the actual settings. Like, right here you can see the hex circle customization option for the DualSense, but you can still do the same thing that I use that for within the customization settings in PlayStation. So crouch is actually R3. Pick up, interact, and reload is R1, and I'll show why I think that's kind of cool and handy later. And the tactical ability is circle, but I also have that as back paddle, just that way it's more convenient and it doesn't really affect anything if my controller breaks. Ping wheel is actually X, not R3, because they're swapped again. And then melee is square, which isn't the most ideal, if I'm being honest, but I mean, it is what it is. And I've had this button layout for a hot minute, and it seemed to do me pretty good. And yeah, and then I'll show you in just a second my warm-up and everything. Oh, and before I show the warm-up, I just want to say quick that the reason why I have my buttons the way I do is so it makes things like this easier. Like zipline jumping, so that way I don't have to take my thumb off the joystick. And it makes that super easy, super cool. Also, it's just easy to, like, you know, loot and be able to look around. Just convenience and not taking the thumb off the joystick. Another cool thing about the button layout is it allows me to do things like that. Just little things without having to take my thumb off the joystick, so I don't really have to worry about instantly, like, being all fumbled up, you know what I mean? And honestly, I don't really use that much, but when I do use it, it does seem to be pretty beneficial. It's just a quick little movement that people don't really expect. Alright, so to the warm-up, normally what I would do is I'd start out with just a maxed out flatline. I mean, I don't really care about stock, I just accidentally picked that up.
Am I saving this up?
And I would just kind of practice with firing, because I ain't gonna lie, it takes me a long time to warm up some days, especially if I'm tired. Last season especially. Last season I got to a point where I just stopped because it was just too much. It was just taking too much time and I was just burnt regardless. I mean, I was playing more than I was doing anything else, so. Yeah, normally I'll just come to fire range, hit fire until it feels just consistent, I guess. And then normally what I would do is I would turn off the dummies. And I would normally do this with the Volt and car, just to, like, get a feel, because I like SMGs. Obviously SMGs got a nerf, so they're not the greatest, but how do I turn dummies off? Forget. Okay, there we go. So I'll turn dummies off, and then I'll just go through and tap. And obviously I want to try to get just as many consistent headshots just for centering. I've been playing long enough to where I know most recoil. I just had a big issue with, like, positioning crosshair. So normally I would do that for a little bit, and then I would go up to the top of the firing range, and I did get this inspired from Roholst. And I do a couple little, like, other little things, but really, I mean, it's kind of just whatever I feel. When it comes to warm-ups, I definitely say whatever you feel you need to work on is best to target, but like, for me, positioning and Verholst, I mean, honestly, it's a really good warm-up. He said to come back here and just try to hit as many headshots as you can. And then, like, as you get consistent with it, just keep going. And now, obviously, I'm not too worried about headshots, just as long as I'm able to keep on the center-ish of the target. Normally, I'm able to hit some of the headshots, but I guess I'm struggling today. And then the only other thing from back here that I would do is, and I think is very useful, whatever your AR is that you use, unless you just rock double SMGs, it's definitely worth just practicing recoil control. And I think in the Verholst video, he just said a little burst. And I also seen another pro controller player's video where they just came back here and just full sprayed it like one of these middle targets is one of their warm-ups. I honestly can't remember. I don't really watch too many other people play just because I try not to, like, copy. Because I think that just leads to focusing on things I don't actually need to work on. So yeah, I'll just do that for a little bit and go back and forth. And, like, I've even seen people, like, shoot a couple bullets at these back targets too, and that helps. Just to get a feeling of your recoil control and whatnot like that. Or I've seen people do it with SMGs too. I mean, it's really whatever you prefer or want to work on, but I definitely think that's like the basics that I think that is the basics that I used for last season. Now this season and everything, I'm not playing a ton. I'm exhausted from this game, but now I do use R5 since I got a PC, and I use R5 a little bit with a mix of this, and I just do the 1v1s on there. And if you have a PC and you're trying to get better, I definitely recommend downloading R5 for Apex. There's links on YouTube, I'm sure. But yeah, I believe that's it for the settings video. The next video I will be getting into stuff like how I played games. It'll take me longer to get that because I haven't played pubs in a while, so it's going to take me a while to actually get proper pub games. But I appreciate every single one of you guys. If there's anything specific you guys want to know in the comment, or let me know in the comments, I would greatly appreciate it. I hope every single one of you guys are having a great day. I'm live every day, pretty much on Twitch. Not playing Apex 24/7 this season just because it's exhausting, but appreciate every single one of you guys, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.